At just 20, destiny awaited Alexander. He stood before a restless army, shadows cloaked in bronze helmets. His father's death left Macedonia in turmoil. But Alexander saw an opportunity, a chance to conquer the greatest empire on earth. Persia loomed large, its vastness intimidating. An empire stretching across mountains and deserts, Persia commanded wealth and power. Many believed challenging such a force was madness. Yet Alexander had a fierce understanding. Hesitation could mean death. Instead of allowing his enemies to gather strength, he marched east. The Hellespont loomed ahead, the line between ambition and legacy. With unwavering resolve, Alexander led his smaller but disciplined army across. The Battle of Granicus awaited. Persian cavalry lined the banks, fierce and prepared. As the crossing began, uncertainty surged. But shooting for glory, Alexander attacked fiercely. Spears clashed, and the river ran chaotic. That clash marked the beginning of a destiny shift. Next came Issus. Here, Alexander faced Darius III himself. The Persian forces were overwhelming, vast, and intimidating. Yet in the narrow battlefield, discipline prevailed. The Macedonian line pressed forward, forcing Darius to flee. In an instant, Persian invincibility began to crumble. But victories on the battlefield were only the beginning. Alexander relentlessly moved down the eastern Mediterranean, cutting Persia from its sea routes. Towns surrendered, while others offered fierce resistance. Every conquest sent a powerful message. This was more than a mere raid. Egypt welcomed Alexander as a liberator. He appeared as a savior from Persian rule, honoring sacred sites and traditions. In awe, stories began to circulate. This man was not just a conqueror, he was a symbol of hope. On Egypt's coast, Alexandria sprang to life. It was more than a city, it stood as a bridge between cultures. Greek streets and Egyptian life mingled, a hub for knowledge and trade. Long after military powers faded, Alexandria would immortalize Alexander's legacy. Yet the throne of Persia beckoned. Gaugamela awaited, the field presenting a decisive clash for power. Darius amassed an enormous army beneath the Mesopotamian sky. Alexander's troops, though fewer, strategized meticulously. As the battle raged, chaos unfolded. Persian forces surged, but Macedonian strength endured. Alexander charged through enemy ranks, hunting for Darius. Again, he fled. This time, the empire would face irreversible change. Babylon opened its gates, welcoming Alexander, the conqueror. He entered one of history's mightiest cities, rich in temples and treasures. His victories were profound, yet as he marched farther, limits began to blur. Mountains and deserts loomed ahead. Exhaustion shadowed the dreams of conquest. In India, the campaign faced a critical test. At the Hydaspes River, Macedonian soldiers clashed with war elephants. They emerged victorious, but fatigue took its toll. When Alexander wished to press on, his men refused, halting their relentless pursuit. The return home proved grueling. Harsh terrains, hunger, and disease plagued his exhausted army. Alexander faced wounds and battles, but darkness followed. His empire was unwieldy, growing beyond man's reach. At just 32, Alexander met his fate in Babylon. Without a clear heir, his generals divided the empire. Yet Alexander's deeper conquest prevailed. Cities flourished, cultures connected, and knowledge flowed. Like never before, ultimately, he changed the world. the legacy of Alexander endures, weaving threads of connection that bind nations and stories long after the armies have faded. The man who dared to cross the unknown remains a pivotal figure in history. So next time you explore the past, think about Alexander. His dreams and discoveries shaped the modern world. Discover more stories that changed our path. Like, subscribe, and join us as history unfolds.